If I have a PNG image, remember that a PNG takes the form of the shape of whatever object is in the image. In other words, it doesn't have a white background. So for example, this particular image right here is a PNG of a piece of steak. And you'll notice that there are some items in the back. There's this piece of text that we've worked on before. And there's also this other shape that I created. And there's a background here. So if I take any of all of those things out, you'll see that all I have now is the shape of this actual image of a piece of steak. So that's what a PNG is. And if I have a PNG image like this one, making sure that that layer is rasterized, I'm going to control click it and rasterize a layer. I can go to my 3D up the top here and make an extrusion from that as well. So you'll see that you'll have your 3D extrusion from there. So now I can take that and make the depth much less than what it is. So if I select the actual object that we created and then go up to the top here to the properties panel, I can select the extrusion depth and make that depth much shorter, smaller, so that it kind of looks like the correct depth of a piece of steak. And now I can actually adjust this to look like an actual 3D piece of steak. So let's take a look at how we might be able to change this texture that's on the side of this image so that it actually looks like it might be a piece of steak. With that selection here of the actual object, the 3D object, I can go here to this little icon, and that allows me to adjust the materials. In other words, what's the texture that I'm going to have around all of the object that I'm working with. So for example, if I click on this ball that shows up, there are some textures that are available here. For example, if I select this one, well, that changes the whole front of that steak, and I don't want that. I'm just going to go back by selecting Apple or Command Z so I can get my piece of steak back. But what I want to work with actually is the extrusion side of this image. The extrusion part, that means this wall that goes around the face of that steak. That's what I want to work with. So I'm going to select that there, and I'm going to go here to where this ball is, and maybe I can make it look more like steak if it's kind of like a brown textured feel like that. So you can see if I rotate this now, it kind of has more of a feel like maybe it's a piece of steak. And then I can use my tools to rotate this and place it and maybe put it on a plate or something like that so that it looks like a part of a meal if I'm creating some sort of a maybe a 3D illustration of a meal. In the next video, we'll explore some more options that you might have to be able to create some objects and 3D effects.